of their weakness, the weakness of their desire. The desire that every single one of us have, that is part of our deficiency, that is part of our weakness. However, when the shaitan knows what your weakness is, he plays on that weakness. And he deceives you by a number of ways. One of them we already mentioned, by making you believe that there is more in the haram than there is in the halal. And the second way is by deceiving you by naming something that is haram with another name, so as to make it seem like it's okay. Naming something that is normally haram by something that is haram. So we say now that khamar, alcohol, is haram. However, there's no mention of marijuana in the Quran. Or we call it marijuana, but then there's some other drinks out there that we call it alcohol. But then there's some other things out there that are not actually alcohol, that, calling things by other than their real name. That doesn't change the reality of the thing. It is still haram. It is still haram. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions in the Quran what shaitan said to them. Shaitan came to Adam and said, قال يا آدم هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد وملك لا يبلى. He said, "Oh Adam, can I direct you to a tree that will give you everlasting life and to a dominion that will never diminish?" This ayat was found in Surah Al-Taha, Surah number 20, ayat 120. فبما أن آدم مخلوق من طين وحواء مخلوقة منه فهما مجلوبان على الرغبات والشهوات ولذا ادعى إبليس أن أكلهما من الشجرة يحقق لهما الخلد والتملك فضعف أمام هاتين رغبتين فأقدما. So Adam, who was created from dirt, and Hawaa, who was created from Adam, these two being created in this manner, it is inevitable that they have desires. They have a desire. And as a result of that, the shaitan, he claimed that he would allow them or point them in a direction of a tree that would give them everlasting life and give them what? Give them a dominion that will never diminish. And they became weak in the face of these two promises. Someone telling you that you're going to have everlasting life is going to give you, make you live forever. And someone telling you you're going to have possession of, the dominion. You're going to be given a lot of things. These are the two things that most of the time people are deceived with. Our children are pulled into gangs because of this same thing. Our children join gangs because of what? Because they believe that by joining a gang, they will have everlasting protection, and they believe by joining a gang that they will have possession over things that they didn't have before. They will have women, they will have countless women, they will have money, they will have drugs, they will have whatever they want. These are the two things that the child of Adam is most of the time deceived by. And the shaitan, playing on the desires of the human being, this is what he offered them. ومعنى هذا أن إبليس يسمى المحرمات بغير اسمها ليزين للإنسان الوقوع فيها والولوغ تماما كما يفعل اليوم أتباعه حين يسمون الحرام بغير اسمه كتسمية الخمر مشروبا روحيا وتسمية العلاقات المحرمة صداقة وتسمية السفر إلى بلاد الكفار النزهة وذلك ليغير النفوس الضعيفة ويجرؤهم على إقدام على الحرام. He said, and what this means is that the shaitan called the things that are haram by other than their normal names, to create or to paint a picture to the human being that the thing is not haram because I changed this name to call the individual to fall into something. She said, and this is exactly what the followers of shaitan do today, by calling things that are normally haram by other than their normal names. Like calling khamar, calling alcohol, mashruban ruhiyya, calling, khamar, alcohol, a drink for the soul. They call it by another name. Or they call, the impermissible relationships between one another friendship. We just friends. So instead of saying boyfriend and girlfriend, they say we friends. Instead of saying we're dating, they say we're friends. Call it what you want to call it. It's all haram. You say, well, my daughter, she's, that's her friend. They go out to the mall together. They hang out together. You can call it what you want to call it, sister. Call it, brother, what you want to call it. It's all haram. So they call an impermissible relationship between boy and girl or man and woman. They say that, it's just a friendship. We just friends. You got a sister's number in your phone that is not your wife, and y'all conversate on the phone under the pretense that y'all just friends. It's haram. You'll say, someone asks you, is that your girlfriend? No, that's not my girlfriend. It's just a friend. It's haram, regardless of what you call it. Changing the name does not make it permissible. Likewise, they also call traveling to the lands of the kuffar, they call it vacation. And of course, she's addressing or talking about the Muslims that live in Muslim countries that come to the land of the kuffar during the summertime, and they come here for the purpose of enjoying the kufr, the life of the kuffar, by drinking, partying, and doing everything else. However, they call it vacation. You can call it what you want to call it. It's haram. It's haram. And as a result of changing this name, Shaitan was successful at allowing Adam and Hawaa to fall into this sin. So she's saying here to be careful not to allow people to deceive you by changing the names of things that are normally haram to make you fall into it. And inshallah ta'ala, we'll stop here. How should a woman address her husband if she needs more physical rights? Or she needs him to do things a certain way, but she doesn't want to offend him or hurt his feelings. She really loves him, but needs to address this matter without seeming too bossy. Delicate situations call for delicate, remedies. In doing that, alhamdulillah, the sisters have to learn how, and I probably wouldn't be the best person because I'm not the most gentle person when I speak. I'm a very straightforward person, and it could be due to my own inadequacies and my shortcomings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. But I'm a very straight up, straightforward person. I don't know how to be gentle. Even when I try to be gentle and say things in a gentle way, it still comes off very assertive, very, confident. And sometimes that can be misinterpreted as being, over pushy or being arrogant. I would probably not be the best person to ask how to do that. You might want to ask some of the older sisters in the community that have probably more experience in dealing with their husbands than I would. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. And if that's it on the questions, inshallah ta'ala, we'll stop here. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama tasliman kathira. Bismillah, the questioner asks, if you and your husband had compatibility issues, do you change who you are to suit his needs and desires, or should he accept you as you are? You should do both. You should change certain things about you, and he should also learn how to accept, the things that you will not be able to change. There's certain things about you, the essence of who you are, that you would probably not be able to change. Like some people are pig-headed, some people are hard-headed, some people are stubborn. Those are characteristics about an individual that sometimes are genetic, and they will not be able to change. You find the individual's hard-headed, and you find the father of the individual's hard-headed. Those are characteristics that are passed down genealogically that many of us have no control over, and we don't even know where to start how to change those things. As the Prophet ﷺ, when you look at the character of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, there were certain things that the Prophet ﷺ had to just accept about Umar. There was no change in those things. And the Prophet ﷺ didn't try to change them. Only thing he tried to do with Umar was redirect him and show him how to utilize those characteristics when they are appropriate to be used. Being harsh is not okay all the time. As the scholars say,